Hey everyone, Austin Williams here, and I'm going to be teaching about the science of reading. What is the science of reading, you ask? Well, thankfully, you are about to see. Before we start that, why are we here again? Well, hopefully you're in the AT program, as I am, and I'm going to give a presentation on how the science of reading is beneficial to our coursework, how it can be beneficial to you as an educator. So, a little bit about myself. I attended UF 4 years, earned my undergrad there, and I came back to my home of Hoxie, Arkansas to teach. I formerly taught college course at Arkansas Monticello as a graduate assistant once I was undergrad. I've now returned to 6th grade history. That I'm primarily at Hoxie to coach football and to coach, so I'm excited to be back in my hometown. Getting into the science of reading, this is the process or the procedure that we're going to teach someone how exactly to read. Because to begin with, what is reading? Reading is taking symbols, codes, pronunciations, all these little things, all these minute things we don't think about, and putting them all together with meaning. What's the science behind that? How do we take something like the letter A and put a letter S to have S, and then we keep going and have more complex and more variation? There are a few theories about with this. Someone how to read, you have to know the procedure teaching them read, and that's where the science of reading comes in as educator. My personal favorite is a simple view of reading. Now, this is important and very simple to get across to young. Now, there's a step process. You have decoding, D times LC, which is language comprehension, RC. This formula is the basis of simple view of reading. Now, let's break it down. Is looking at a paper and seeing a sentence, seeing words, and breaking it piece by piece, understand what each portion means. Like you break it into pieces. It's allowing you to take the minute things like to understand how that word impacts a sentence. Comprehension is whenever you understand how language forms together, you have the associations on how to say something. That is the second half of simple view of reading. They come together to form reading, which takes decoding, able to unravel everything, comprehension of the language being said, and put it into fluid, which you read in a great way without having to stop yourself. Another theory SOR is the four-part mental processor. Now our brain, a very complex tool, has a few different ways of how they're going to process phonological issues going on throughout the class. Now there's four parts of this that help you decode, that help you infer, that help you remember. We have to understand work for phonics, and the rest help us out with different areas. Now the phonological and orthogonal processors are what help us with phonics, which is the actual way we teach and understand the words are being said. But then we have various processors like the meaning processor, which is helping us understand what meaning of message is, or something like the context, helping us understand the difference between this, there, for the various different letters, like THR as opposed to THERE. It's trying to give us the context of what we're reading. There's a theory we're going to talk about, and it uses strands like a rope together. Imagine shoelace knotted. It is a way of providing various different aspects to educate, to give learners different ways of going about to find their answer. Now we have the language comprehension side of the strand, which is helping us go along with simple view of reading, help understand how language, how we're going to comprehend it, and the road recognition side, which is going to be more of the decoding portion of looked at it in the simple view of reading. If these two start together, putting things like pronunciation, vocabulary, everything of that nature together, then we start more powerful and a more fluent word I keep coming back to, basis of reading. Having a fluent reader means that he can understand, comprehend, and he can go from point A to point B seamlessly. And that is what filling all these strands together will do. Now, we're going to understand how these are going to affect the degree definitions behind what we were doing. Phonological awareness is the base level what we were talking about. The science of reading is taught phonics. What is phonics, you ask? How does that affect phonological awareness? Why is that not the same? Understanding phonological awareness means the basic minimal level of speech. How many syllables are there? How is the word built? How does the word have other words? FOX. 1, 2, 3, 4 graphemes in that word. Why do we have different words that are spelled the same or said the same and have different meanings? It is important that we teach students how phonological awareness varies so they can build a foundation of the basic words in order complex, and complex words as their studies increase. Now, speaking about phonics, which is a process of how we teach the actual teach letter A, letter B, letter C, how they go together. You can't just put letters together if you're looking for a specific sound. What we have to do is teach students that there are rules. If A sound and the T sound, you get A. Simple as that will help our students get unwrite in front of them. If they've never had any experience reading, they have to know what this sound is, what sound is, and how they combine this together. The word that I've spoken about, fluency. This is the ability to have a conversation and at the same time be at a high speed rate. We're in complex material. In undergrad, we went over slightly less complex material. In high school, we went over slightly less complex material and so on and so forth, down to the baseline font instruction. Now, our young learners get fluent at one time, such as they're fluent at phonics, they're fluent at bringing things together. They may be fluent at algebra now, fluent at whatever it is now. You have to start at point A. If you have this fluency, it becomes second-hand to them. They go on to the next task. Until you bring these complex ideas together in a seamless manner, issues understanding how to go for the next point. Okay. These are any given language, any student's vocabulary is what he's saying. Why do the words in a language matter to what you're saying? Well, going back to the rules, we must understand the words that are available to use so we can understand the patterns and how to recognize these sounds. All life is patterns. Once students understand the pattern, the sound being on this or the or that, they understand that no matter what, if you see that TH, we know the sound that is being made in the word. Ensuring that our students have this baseline list to have a more fluent transition between words as we talk about bringing everything together for their students' schematic ability to learn. Excuse me. This is meaning emphasis of our get into in higher education. Now, as we're teaching phonics, as we're teaching these different word variations, we have a few different ways to go about it. Code emphasis, a lot of young student teachers dispel dyslexia, to dispel letters because they are taking words that are specifically targeting a struggle area and decoding them. They go with the R sound or bringing H together, the. Specifically designed for young students to go through these target words, sounds, areas, letters, and they are attacking and going to that head on. The meaning emphasis is a technique that employs a different stance than the code emphasis. Now, meaning emphasis means we're looking for the meaning of something. Can we find the meaning if we're breaking it down piece? You could, but you wouldn't see the whole picture. So the meaning emphasis takes us for a ride as we look for the whole picture, as we read the whole words. It's more of the big picture type deal, the macro deal, while emphasis is micro. The orthographic meaning is something that we use to create a sense of point A to point B. If we are going to have the meaning of a word given to our students, we have to understand how we got that meaning. How do we bind words? How do we bind sounds? How do we bring it so that they understand that this is a way to map things out? Give them from a basic level of spelling, them in their early literacy rates as they put together words like this, like that, like the. I go back to these simple examples, but I think that we may have similar pronunciations and we have to understand the differences. In conclusion, it's imperative that we have a high understanding of the science of reading. We have to include this in our presentations. We have to include this in our lesson plans. We have to include this in our communication with the student. There are various tools we are, and each student is different individually. So we know all the tools we have and bring them together. Science of reading, the various things throughout as possible for our learners. Thank you, and I hope you learned something. Have a great day.